Wednesday edition of the South Shore's Morning News. I'm Rob Hackala with the morning team. And as promised in studio in this segment, we have one of the great team members from Plymouth Bay Orthopedic. Don't get sidelined. pbortho.com. And in this morning's segment, we're going to get to know Dr. Gregory Frechette. Dr. Frechette is an orthopedic surgeon who specializes in hand, wrist, and elbow surgeries. So he is in studio. We're going to get to know him. Text line is open as well. If you have any questions, you can check in at 781-837-4900. That's our text line. See if we can help you out or steer you in the right direction. 781-837-4900. That is our text line. Dr. Frechette, good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Great to have you in the program. So tell me a little bit about yourself, and we'll get into those specialties as well. So you're part of the great team. How did you get there?
Yeah, well, originally from Vermont. Went to college in Maine and medical school back in Vermont. I did some training in New York City for my orthopedic surgery residency, and I came back to Boston for specialized training in hand and wrist and elbow surgery. Family's from the area, so we were looking locally and found the great team down here, and I was lucky enough that they let me join them.
Oh, that's great, right here on the South Shore. Tell me about when it comes to hand, wrist, and elbow surgery. Tell me a little bit about that. So what do you do there? You help people with the issues when it comes to pain and...
Yeah, it's pretty broad, actually. So sort of the main things I see are nerve compressions, carpal tunnel syndrome you may have heard of, arthritis throughout the hand, wrist, and elbow, especially in an aging population. That's a very common thing I see. And then traumas, so fractures, lacerations of tendons, things like that. So it's a broad spectrum, and it's exciting.
I was going to say, do you feel that in your field that we're going to be seeing certain injuries because of technology get worse? Do you think? I mean, I hear about the typing. Well, I'm typing all day long.
Yeah.
Everybody's typing. And then I don't know if the kids in the future, their thumbs are going to be, fused into a texting pattern of some kind. But no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
These kind of we're doing a lot more differently, maybe with our hands than our ancestors did, right?
Definitely, yeah. The work that we do certainly is shifting from generations past. So I do think that the hands are getting more use in modern days, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. It's tough to predict, but I think you're on the right track with that.
So what do you see for the most common injuries? Are there things that we are doing that maybe we can avoid if we do things or approach them differently?
Yeah, I tend to not have people shy away from things. I think it's important to live your life, and enjoy things, and that's why we're here when accidents happen. But the most common things we see are, I'd say wrist fractures. People slip and fall and try to brace themselves with their hands.
Yeah.
It's just a natural reaction, and that leads to wrist fractures. So that's one of the things we see most commonly as far as trauma goes.
Yeah, coming up on black ice season.
Yep.
We've all done it before. I've been there too.
Sure.
I'll never forget that. Yeah. First, once you know, then you never do it again.
Yeah.
But it's that first time where all of a sudden it was a brick walkway, and it was just a glaze, and I couldn't see a thing. And then the next thing I noticed, you instinctively reach out, to brace yourselves, if you don't end up on your tush or whatever. Yeah, you try to do that, and that pressure must hurt your wrist area.
Yep, you land right on your wrist. It bends it backwards, and that's a weaker spot of the bone, so it's that's where it breaks most often. And it's natural because you don't want to land on your face, so you protect your hand with your hands.
What about in terms of other types of, do you see issues where sports are involved as well?
Definitely, yeah. A lot of traumatic injuries from sports, whether it's a football player jamming his finger or getting stepped on, or something more high energy where their forearm breaks, or lacerations of any kind. A lot of tendons are very close to the skin, so any sort of cuts to the back of the hand or palmar side of the hand can cut the tendons pretty easily.
How do you know, what would you say to people that if you're feeling a pain that comes on after doing something strenuous and you're not sure? Because, most guys, I don't know about you guys, but, we tend to kind of have this weighted out thing first. Somehow it will go away.
Yeah.
Now, I felt this for a while, like, for example, how much of us are always doing extra work all the time? And then I went nuts one time trying to screw something together, and I was using a screwdriver, more than I'd ever, and I was just turning all afternoon. And then the next day, this was killing, Doctor.
Yeah.
So I must have done something.
Yeah, it's a common complaint, the weekend warriors that come in, and I'd say listen to your body. If it feels abnormal, it's been bothering you for a little while, come in and get it checked it out.
I just don't use my right hand anymore. No, I'm kidding. No, but in my case, it did. It took like a couple ibuprofen and it went down. But obviously, if it stuck around, I would know that this is something I got to come in for.
I'd say do the normal things like you said, ice it down and take some ibuprofen. And if it lingers, we're happy to see it and check it out.
Yeah. All right. So again, we're talking to Dr. Gregory Frechette. He's one of the great team members at Plymouth Bay Orthopedic. They are there to help you out. He's a surgeon with a specialized training in hand, wrist, and elbow surgery, and he can help you out. He's part of that great team, pbortho.com. We talked about certainly injuries are going to be things along the way, accidents and things that happen to us. Also, what are things we need to worry about when it comes to just the simple fact of aging? What are the things that break down that we need to be careful about? Is arthritis, is that a big thing? I always think about that.
Certainly. I'd say thumb arthritis is probably one of the things I see most as people age. The thumb moves in a variety of directions that the other fingers don't, and it's important for gripping and grasping. It's what differentiates us from the other animals. So that certainly wears out the fastest. Okay. There's nothing you can really do. I like I said, I think you got to do the things that you enjoy in your life and deal with the consequences down the line as if they come. But we have good options to help you with the thumb arthritis especially. Yeah,
it seems like obviously the important thing that we touch upon when we talk to people in the medical profession is to see someone like yourself sooner. I mean, that's the one thing that I hear over and over again, sooner than later, right? When it comes to any condition, if you'd come a little bit earlier, we might have been able to do this, but now it's worse. And so get it checked out.
Definitely. You get no points for suffering. So we're happy to help you and see you anytime.
That's great. Dr. Gregory Frechette's been with us this morning, and again, he's part of the great team at Plymouth Bay Orthopedic. You can find out more on their website. You can get all the details of the contact information. That's pbortho.com, pbortho.com, Plymouth Bay Orthopedic. And, of course, they have offices, Plymouth, Duxbury, and Sandwich?
Correct.
All right, check it out. Dr. Gregory Frechette, welcome, and good to have you part of the team.
Thank you for having me.